Welcome, everybody. Happy, it's not Sunday. We were just
Happy
talking
not
about it.
Sunday.
Happy Thursday. Thank you. Happy 4-4, 4-4-24, 4-4-4, sort of. We are happy to be here with you for our double-digit day that we like to do every month. And I always love working with JJ and her
Same.
guides, the Tutah. It's
Yeah.
wonderful to have you, JJ. I love your glasses, by the way. I didn't tell
Thank
you.
you.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
very
I got
nice.
my majestically awkward sweatshirt on today.
That's adorable.
Thank
At first,
you.
I thought it was what is it? Unicorn farts. There's one that has like unicorn
Yeah.
farts on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is
that's
everything.
adorable.
Yeah,
That's
it kind of looks
everything.
like a llama, but it's also a unicorn.
Uh-huh.
Pegasus. Yeah.
It's really cute. Oh, it's really cute.
Mm.
Thank you so much for wearing it. It's a lot of fun. So today we have discussed some things we're going to talk about, and
Yeah.
but I want to welcome everybody to the chat. And I had this set up incorrectly, so hopefully everybody got their message that it was going to be a little bit earlier today, and we are simulcasting as well on JJ's channel, so you won't see everybody, but we're happy you're all here with us this morning. Yes, Rossi, a 4444 portal, absolutely,
Woo-hoo.
absolutely beautiful. So yeah, so and later on we'll take some questions. We got some things we'd like to do, but first I want to say Martha Bean was here early and she is a birthday girl. So happy birthday, Martha Bean. Happy birthday. Yeah. And Froxy Roxy is here. I'm so happy to see you, dear. And Maya and Imagine with Me Shamanic Journeys. Lottie B, Michelle Krantz, Rossi, Amanda Carroll, KK, Eliza, Maui, Aloha, dear, Sonia Pinola, Cynthia Smith, Given Wings, I love that, Hilda Flores, Sally, Ocean View, let's see, Needle Babes, Needle Art. I was going to say, I missed that one. It's a good thing you put arts on there. You don't want to be Needle Babe.
Needle babe.
Needle Arts Babe. There you go, Suzanne. Yes, that's really cool. And let's see, and there's some birthday greetings given to Martha, and Fogo Pogo's here, and Marby. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you're enjoying your day. It's a rainy day here in the Seattle area, but it's okay. We've had some sunshine. You haven't had any snow where you are, have you, JJ?
Yesterday was my I have a 16-year-old teenager, and yesterday was her second day in driver's ed driving.
Oh dear.
It was a huge storm. It's just like, I was like, oh my God.
Throwing it right into the fire, huh?
Second day. And it was sleeting. It was like, it wasn't icy, thank God, but it was like, it was rain, it was wind, it was sleet. I'm like,
well, I learned my driver's ed in the fall, late fall, because my birthday was September. So I would get into like the later in the year. And I remember parallel parking and all that in the snow. But the good part is you learn that you can't brake fast. You learn that right away because you know what will happen if you do. So
that's actually the way that I really like learning. I really like knowing what's kind of like out of my wheelhouse, because I learned in the wintertime too with the snowbanks. And and like Vermont, it's like they're like, okay, take a left here, which I'm terrible with left and rights, but take a left here. And it's just like,
I have to think about my hand.
There's like a snowbank. I'm like, where is that left?
Yeah. So yes, JJ and I grew up in New England, right? Yeah, both of us did. Yeah. But she's now more in the Midwest. No, in the Northwest, right? Northwest. Yeah. So still snowing for you, Fogo Pogo. I am so sorry. Mr. Craig Dixon is here, and tomorrow I'm going to see a Groucho Marx impersonator with my husband Craig sent us the tickets at Christmas time, and so I'm really excited about it, Craig. And don't worry, I won't forget it. I'm very excited about it. So
what a unique thing!
It really was. He has seen this guy before, apparently, and thought we might enjoy it. So I was really thrilled about it. Yeah, it's really cool. So, it's a sunny and warm day in Tucson. All right, send us all that beautiful. Super windy in Maui. Oh wow. Okay, everybody. Hi, Lisa Sather. It's good to see you. Ramon Moon Scarab is here. Nice to see you, dear. Suzanne, it's snowing there in New England, heavy wet junk. Oh, some of my friends in New Hampshire are dealing with even their they have no electricity and their generators are out as well. So I heard it's really bad. So yeah. Anyway, there you go. You're a Mass native. That's right, Sally. She's from Massachusetts. So hi, Cardamancy Mesquite. We're glad you're here. Hi, Laura, Debbie Kane. It was snowing in West Virginia. Cynthia Smith. Oh, okay. No, you know what it is, Cynthia? You can the deck of character, put it into Google. It's a whole separate, they have like a buy it on their website. So just put in that's all they do is the deck of character. So go to Google, put in the deck of character. It will take you to the website. This is the fun deck where you see things like a spatula. It's like Teflon Dawn whenever I'm reading, and I get that Teflon Dawn. Yeah. Hi, Sharon Sipe. Thanks for being here as always. And Hypnicity. Okay, I've got your reading here. I'll click on it. Hi, Claudia. Goodness, we got 38 people.
Welcome.
Oh, parts of New Hampshire are going to get 18 inches. Oh, my Lord. All right. So let's start off with Tutah had some things they wanted to come through with JJ to talk about. So let's go ahead and do that.
Let me see what they want to talk about first. Okay. So I was sorry about my cough. I'm still
that's all right.
working on it. But when I was thinking about, the 4/4, and I was thinking about spring, Tutah was sharing with me that how about like feeling into the things we can't see? And we always like to talk about how we are like seeds, like the beginning of us is a seed. And if you think about spring, think about April, it's like, I know, Aley, you said your flowers were coming out and the trees are sprouting. And so it's like, I really love that idea of really feeling into the unseen, feeling into the just our own personal knowing and our own personal frequency, our own personal vibration. And one thing that they want to talk about today is like really leaning into our own unique ways. Because if you think about a seed that's planted here and a seed that's planted next to it, whether it's by a person, a bird, nature, wind, however that seed got there, like one seed will have its own unique way of growing. And that's just like us. I'm more of a moon child and my sister's more of a sun child. And it's those things, like even if somebody's like the seed right next to you is growing in their own time, that's just how things are.
Right.
And so if you think about yourself as a seed and you don't know which way is up, down, over, you're just there being a seed. And it's almost like you don't even have control over like how much moisture, nutrition, those sorts of things. And it's one of those things where, it's that thing of surrendering, and which leads me to the deck that you're going to use today.
Yeah, it's called the Letting Go deck by David Hawkins. And some of you some of you know, I've spoken about David Hawkins before. He has a number of books out. He's fabulous. He's passed away now, but they're still doing his work for him. And, sort of like they do for Ram Dass and a few others that have passed. But yeah, so it's very interesting. This is at the top of the deck. As old ways of looking at things are challenged, our worldview begins to stretch and expand. There you go.
That's perfect.
Yes, it does.
I love the idea of stretching. And what was the other word? Stretching and expanding.
And expanding.
That's exactly what we do as we grow.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and we don't always see what's underneath because it's covered by leaves, or we have to go and do. That's why we have to go and do the cleanup. But it's waiting for us to find it, and I love that.
Like a treasure.
Yeah. Much like that. Yes. Which brings me to want to also hi Tanita. It's nice to see you. Water Lily's here, and a few others have come in. Gigi's here. Thank you for being here, everybody. It leads me into asking Tutah to speak on the solar eclipse that occurs on the 8th. I've spoken briefly on another show about it, but there's a lot of fear coming around it. And I don't know, we've seen eclipses before. We've had eclipses before. It isn't like it's the Stone Age and we don't know if the world's going to, we don't have an explanation for it. I think some of the fear comes from a lot of people traveling and so on and so forth. See it, maybe. But I would love to hear what Tutah has to say about the solar.
Like personally, I'm right there with you. I'm just like, what the heck? Humans can pretty much ruin anything.
They can. Yes.
So I'm so excited because you're the first one to ask. I didn't even ask Tutah. I was just like over here as JJ, like being like, what are people doing? But even my sister, she lives in Colchester, Vermont, which is pretty much right where there's going to be the total eclipse. And she's just like, I'm not going anywhere. And now you guys in the East Coast are getting pounded with snow.
And overcast.
People coming
They're
in.
They're even saying, be careful of your dogs and cats that are outside because they don't have the glasses on.
I will admit, like, it is the feeling is very strange. I remember I was at my grandmother's house in Woodstock, Vermont, and I didn't go outside. I just watched it on TV because I didn't trust that I was not going to look at it.
I know.
But there is that like feeling of unknowing. Like it gets dark, and and it's weird. It's like it's almost like when your power goes off. It's like there's something different happening.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's ask that.
Okay. All right.
I have a feeling it goes into like feeling our way into the unseen.
Well, and I think some good things will come after it. I think it's going to be an opening for us, but I would love to hear what Tutah has to say.
And I would also really like to have I'd really love to hear what everybody here has been picking up, because we're a very sensitive community. Like, are you guys getting, I love the fact that it's 4/8, right? It's going to be on the 8th. For some reason, that date means something, and I don't know what it is, but 4/8 is pretty cool.
I agree. It is.
Because I love infinity. I love 8. Okay, but let's get into it. But I did see somebody asking if we're going to take questions. I'm not sure what Tutah's going to do with all of this. But you could, if you wanted to, feel free to post some things, and if we get to it, we will. But just kind of guide yourself to the like what's unseen type questions would be really in line with what we're doing today. But by all means, if you have like one of those questions, like someone's sick or I can't find my cat, like those are really pressing. Those are really pressing questions. So
they are pressing. They are. Yeah.
Okay, so let's ask what's going on. What do we need to know about the solar eclipse? Okay. What do we need to know about the solar eclipse? And I kind of have this feeling that Sal in the chat right here, I think Sal, I'm holding space for you to get something too, Sal. Ooh, they're bringing in the when we're in the shadow completely. Pa'anu, pa'anu, pa'u kama koshama yewa. They're talking about the difference between my sister and I, how I'm more of the moon and she's more of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And again, how seeds are different. Some people will feel really comfortable. In the sun, and some will feel more comfortable when the eclipse is happening. Like they go about their day, and the other people might like kind of feel like a flower without the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's like this mysticism about the eclipse. They're talking about how the sun and the moon pass. It's this beautiful dance. And it's like, hello, sister. Hello, sister. And again, it's just like what Tutah said about the eclipses before. It's this exchange of information. It's so nice to see, like, these things happen many times in different ways. When you see an airplane going over and you see the shadow, like you can see the things that are you don't normally see, is what they're saying. Like some of the shadows go by in a fleeting way, like when an airplane or a big bird goes by, or even the little ones like the butterflies. And they're like, this is the grand shadow. They're being very presentable.
It is.
Grand shadow. And feeling into the unseen. And they do like the timing of this with spring. It's a great time. Tiano kaana shewa makoyewa matio tunomo kyo kyo kyo. Yanu 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 yanu. Tietano kushtita. Yatutinama, like in a way of saying for us to like tutonoshtita, to go up a couple rings on the ladder, so to speak, like tutama kushtita yewa, the growth of titanoshtita, the spiritual way, the growth of the spiritual way for seeing the things that are unseen. Atutomoku inma pukonoku ashematiamao haka koka matuama yationoshita. And they say even if it's raining on that day, taona tiomopau koshtewa, the things will get watered as well. Kuno tiomoku ya tiano 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 ano tiamo kupakonashtitama wa kioma. Yeah, Tiano, like all of the ingredients that might be happening in the celestial, in the atmosphere, in the sky. Everything is a beautiful little ingredient on the 8th for the solar eclipse, or whenever it is you're experiencing it. Atuka, atuka, atuka. Is there anything to fear on the 8th? Yes. If you're afraid of your own shadow, they say this
Ah.
is not the day for you.
Oh, that's funny. Well, and the other thing is I was thinking as Tutah was speaking, we are always afraid to look at our shadow self. Because it's like something that we think is, oh my God, we don't want anyone to know, there you go with uncovering again. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Could you pull another card for the
Yeah. Yeah.
solar eclipse?
Sure. I did hear on the news last night that at the end of it, there's a part where you're able to look. I can't tell you when that is, but it says that you might even see coronal mass injections coming off of it and so forth, which
Cool.
would be, we don't get to see that. We just hear about it. This
Yeah.
says the only power that anything has over us is the power of belief we give it. There you go.
Great.
Yep.
That's
I
great.
mean, if we say, oh, okay, I'm fearful, then fear will continue to manifest for us. It's okay to take precautions if people want to do that. I took a lot of precautions during the pandemic. I didn't do a lot of things other people did. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. And it wasn't out of fear. It was out of caution more than anything.
Yeah,
And if that's, yeah,
kind of like survival and
yeah,
like having your smarts about you.
yeah. In other words, don't put yourself in a situation that, might create a bigger problem for you. Yeah.
It's like if
But
I could drive to the parking lot of the grocery store and somebody else can put my groceries in the back, yes, that sounds great.
well, no, I remember the first time that I ordered groceries from Amazon to be delivered. You're supposed to take a wipe and wipe everything
Oh, I
down.
know. I know. I
Oh, it
was
was
just
amazing.
thinking about that, the things that we did.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
we did.
wiping down the boxes from Amazon, like
The boxes and the
Yeah.
cans of vegetables or fruit or
Mhm.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Suzanne said in southeastern Vermont, which is where she lives,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be 95% totality. Hopefully, she'll be able to get a refracted picture using a drinking glass in the window.
Oh, I would
So
love to see that.
yes. She says later, she explains that how she did it kind of accidentally. Let me get down to that post. She said, back then I traced the sun on a piece of cardboard every couple of minutes with time, and I turned it in for the extra credit. The teacher loved it. I love that.
So
that's
clever.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the eclipse in 2017. I was on the deck of a cruise ship heading toward Puerto Rico, and we were sitting out on the like astroturf deck, and I had on the the glasses out there, and everybody else was doing all kinds of crap over here on the deck, not even paying any attention to the solar eclipse. And now it's like, but maybe it's because it's more over the United States and people are a little bit more, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Froxy's more comfortable with the moon side too. Yeah, if you can see the lunar eclipse because you don't have a problem with that, you can look straight at it. That's cool because you can get to see the different ways that it goes over it. And you can do the same thing with the solar eclipse if you have the glasses, and it doesn't last that long. Not really, so. Wow, that's so funny. I have a very dear sorority sister from Colchester, Vermont. Isn't that great? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, Colchester's really pretty, and
It
my
is
sister
pretty.
lives on, so Lake Champlain is this really long lake, that is one side's New York and the other side is Vermont, and, but my sister lives on Mallett's Bay, which is right off of that, and they have, like,
Okay.
I gotta say, like, the Burlington area, I've lived here, I've lived there, and the sunsets are so spectacular, in Vermont. Yeah.
Yes. They really are. Focal Pogo, would the eclipse have to do with the golden rain falling from the sky? She said she channeled it.
You got a
Golden
big
raindrops.
yes. Yeah, you got a
Yes.
big yes. I wonder if that's why they mentioned rain, so you would post this, Kaylee. Let me, oh, I got goosebumps on my head.
Wow.
Let me see what they have to and pull a card too for this golden rain. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, going along the line of gold and purity, like a change in frequency.
Mhm.
My people always show me like gold in its like melted down form, where it's nice and soft, it's liquidy, and it has a different reflection. So if I saw a raindrop, if I could just like stop a raindrop, so I could look at it. If it was, just think about the difference between if it was water or if it was gold. How does that make you guys feel, looking at something that's liquid gold and something
Mm.
that's water? I get a very, one of the ancestry kind of feeling with the gold. Got some Egyptian stuff coming up.
Mhm.
Yeah, like sacred, the ancestor stuff has just been coming up lately.
It has. I agree
Yeah.
with you. We've seen a lot of that. So I pulled the Healing Waters card since it's rain, and it says to immerse yourself in the rain. So
Mm,
I'm feeling as though um, we can accept the gift of the rain that will come. And a lot of people have said on other channels too that after the eclipse, we're
mm.
going to all be growing exponentially. But I love the idea that it's because we will not be covering up. We won't be covering up the light. We will be enlightened. And
Yeah.
so I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, a gold dragon, Leah. Woohoo. Solar raindrops. Maybe, Leah. And maybe it is solar raindrops. Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh. Hi, Gerald. Nice to see you. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah. Warm
Yeah, it feels
golden
nice and
oil.
warm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Amanda, you know what that reminds me of? Is I've never had one of these, but maybe you guys have, where you're laying on the table, the massage table, and they put the oil on your third eye.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what that reminds me of.
Yeah, absolutely. Or yeah. So the
Yeah.
other card I got is when you surrender to the process as simply part of the human condition, you come to peace with it and become more loving and appreciative of others' care and love for you, as well as the universe's care and love for you. So
Yeah.
yeah, and there's that surrender again. And of course, that's what the cards are letting go and surrendering to. Yeah.
Yeah. Brenda
Yeah.
says, I got a message that April 27th will be significant. Significant.
Really?
Cool.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting year.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
is. It has been already.
I don't know if I'm going to be bored. I really
No, we're
don't.
too busy. We're too good.
Yeah.
We were just talking backstage about the being in the Mercury retrograde. It's kicked my butt already, and we're only on 4 days. And so we have to find out. That's another thing that we have to realize, that is uncovering other things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And you know, that brings me to, I don't know if anybody else, just speaking for myself, is that so the things that like I might need assistance with, I feel like sometimes like my anxiety medicine and the ways I cope with it, like uh like those frequency of anxiety or depression or being unfocused, like those have shifted for me, where
mhm.
I went and talked to, like, my daughter and stuff. Not my daughter, my doctor. My daughter. Well, yes, I talked to my children about that too, but,
Yeah,
um,
in a
yeah, but
different
I
way.
went and,
Yeah.
I made sure about self-care.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and so it's one of those things. Self-care has been coming up a lot this year,
Yes.
about, what can we do to adjust?
Mhm.
Do we need to just shift a little bit in our coping responses? Because I know I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't that
No.
healthy.
Well,
Just
no, I've had the same thing because from actually October 30th last year, my husband had a shot that he had a bad reaction to, and everything
yeah,
just sort of has followed through the last couple of months, moving the business and doing all that. And you have to give it over.
You
I mean,
do.
I was stressing myself out and it wasn't good for me. And so
Yeah.
you do. And that doesn't mean I've completely forgotten about it because I've been going through it, but it's like what I can do what I can do, and that's all I can do. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you really can't do any more than that. And it's
Mm-mm.
like the things
Mhm.
that we can do, I mean, that is an ebb and flow. You know,
Correct.
it's not like we
Correct.
can do the same thing every day. You just
Right.
really got to go with the flow.
Yeah, you
But
gotta breathe through it. You're right. Yep. Yep.
they do want to talk about growing our own way and that every one of us has our own way of growing.
Oh,
Um,
good.
and
Okay.
to really feel into the unseen. Like think of it as if it's your own personal song that you can
Mhm.
tap into.
Mhm.
I really liked this. I listened to it as a book on tape. I'm not going to remember what the title is right now, but it was about a Buddhist, and he went into a school to do like a demonstration of something, and
Mhm.
he had a sound bowl, and he played it, and he's like, okay, he was talking to the children, and he said, listen to where does the sound go? Where does the sound begin? And one of the children said, it goes to God. And I just thought that was the most interesting
It
way to think
is.
about things is like, if you reached into your own mind's eye, like, where does the wind come from? Where does it go?
Mhm.
And what about
Mhm.
our own personal song? Like, does it bubble up from the ground? Does it come from the stars? Does it come from when the stones
Mhm.
fall as the meteorites and ground into the earth? Like what is it? And does your song, I'd imagine that our songs shift with like the seasons, just like how a river sounds different in the seasons, how it's kind of
Mhm.
quiet if it ices over. Um, and in the spring, the river could have like when the ice is let go, like there might be trees that are in the river affecting the song. It's like we all have our own personal seasons and
Mm. Mhm.
like
We do. We do.
our own natural pull. Um,
Mhm.
and
Uh-huh.
so let me see what Tutah Mo. They say it's good enough to just to put that out there for people to think about. Um, but it's also really good to think about, like, since today is a 4, and you think of, like, the 4 pillars, like a good foundation. Like, I feel like 4 has this feeling of, like, a good foundation. It feels like we're growing, but it also feels like we're grounded, and that feels like a really safe place to be. Um I mean, being in the in between can be super frustrating. It's not one of
Mhm.
my favorite places to be of like, um, you kind of feel a little forsaken when you're in the middle of something.
Yes, you do.
So,
You do.
and um, so
Mhm.
yeah, they just wanted to bring that up for people to maybe think about because it's almost like we need to give ourselves a break
Yes.
um, from what other people expect of us because, if you're growing up, it's like our parents tell us things, our grandparents tell us things, our siblings tell us things, our friends. And it's like we're
Mm.
taking in all of this information and trying to find our own way with it. Then we go into
Mhm.
school, you know, we're taught those
Yes.
things. That's in your wheelhouse,
Oh,
and it's like
yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
you're just growing, and having all of these influences on us,
Yes, you are.
cultural influences,
Mhm.
all sorts of things. And so it's one of those things like when the solar eclipse comes by and we're sitting there in not necessarily our own shadow, but a nice time to think
Mhm.
about what can I let go of that's not
Mhm.
mine. I mean, are my parents still are they still like kind of guiding me,
Yes. Yeah.
if like a partner, maybe there's just your job and this and that. I just think that it's a really nice time to stop and um, just put our thoughts on
Mhm.
how do we grow in our own individual way. I don't know if
Mhm.
I know I don't do that enough. So
it is a lot of contemplation, and we have a busy, especially you have children still at home, busy day, you know, you and your animals, you got to take care of them, you got to do this, you got
Yeah.
to do that, and
Yeah.
it does get away from us. But I love the idea of the music. Where does it go? But I also love the idea of where the sound between the chords that are being played is also some silence, and there's some of that going on, and that's undercover. And it reminded me of a koan, a Koan, that a Chinese master once asked his students, which is, what is the sound of one hand clapping? And it's not, there's really no answer,
Yeah.
but it's meant to have you contemplate
Yeah.
something that's not right here, more something that's more etheric, but you know, just getting you to think about things that really there are no answers for. So
And that's okay.
it
You
is okay.
know, that's
Yes,
one of the big lessons I learned is, like, it's okay to not know.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
okay. It's perfectly, give yourself a break on that too. Like, if you're sitting there and
Mhm.
being like, "Okay, well, what is my personal song?" And if you don't get anything,
Mhm.
that's something. You know, nothing
Yeah.
is actually something. But just taking I think that if you think of our, like, our soul self, because you're the Heart and Soul Connected channel, if you think of our soul self,
Uh-huh.
excuse me,
Mhm.
it's kind of like trusting, like leaning into the soul seed, and
Uh-huh.
just, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure my soul and I work together pretty well, and my
I think
heart.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you allow
Yeah.
even doing your light language, you had to allow that to come in. And
Yes.
you weren't sure. I know you went to classes and so forth, but I
Mhm.
don't I don't know that I'd be sure it was it good? Was it bad? You know, at first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
And you
was
had to
that was
trust.
actually a
Yeah.
blessing
Uh-huh.
because I had 2 teachers, and then I had all the students that were there were,
Mhm.
really, really growing into their spiritual gifts, and
Wow.
yeah, they
Uh-huh.
tapped into it, and we found out that it had the healing properties, but I do
Uh-huh.
I do pause, at times and be like, you know, if this is for our best and highest good,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
I'll allow it to come through if it's for our best and highest good, and,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you trust, and you have to either trust it or you have to release it. One
Oh
or
my
the
god.
other.
Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? Like, if anybody wants to know how to grow in an individual way, I mean, come on. I have a weird language. My eyes blink. Oh my, I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
Uh-huh.
and I
I
do
get it.
it. I do it,
Yeah.
like, live. Like, that's, like, the biggest thing when people have a light language or a gift. They're just like,
Yes.
"This is weird." And I'm like,
Mhm.
give me the weird, and I'll
Yeah.
tell you what I feel." And the stuff I feel isn't weird. It feels lovely. It
It
feels
is love it, yeah. There's
clearing
no
and
pressure for
cleansing and helpful.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is there's a lot of people that do light language, but they don't know what they're saying, and you do. So there's a difference in how you do
Sometimes.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea what I was saying in the beginning, and still there's
Uh-huh.
some times where I just don't know. Like, I kind of feel
Sure.
like it's the sound thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, I really loved that you brought up, um, the, um, the stuff that's in between the 2 musical chords,
Mhm.
because that's something that's a little bit unappreciated, you know? Like, for instance, I have one dog, her name is Sid. She has the most perfect bark frequency of it in here to make my sound bowls also go off. And it's that in between
Wow.
space
Yes.
of,
Yes.
like, there's a question in there, there's a message of, like,
Mhm. Mhm.
"I'm
Yeah.
hungry. I need you to pay attention to me." And,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I really love leaning into that,
Yeah.
what's in between the musical notes. That's
And they
cool.
all have different barks. I have one that screams. It's like really high pitch. And I
Yeah.
have one, you know, like a bass tone. And they're
Yeah,
all girls. And I have another one that just
yeah.
barks differently than that. And when they combine that, because they sing for me, and when they combine it, I also
Oh,
like that. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like a fun, even
Yeah,
though it's loud and noisy, it's a
yeah,
fun thing. Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like when I drop the dogs off to get, like, a haircut, it's like I so miss the clickety clack. I miss whatever noises they make, the sounds,
Right.
it's like they add to my
Yeah.
environment.
Sure. Sure.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. When you have pets and if they pass and you don't have any pets,
Mhm.
it's a big void.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just taking them to get their haircut or whatever is all
Mhm.
right because you know they're coming back. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is a strange it is a strange thing. Um, so the mechanism of surrender is simple and the truth is self-evident, it says. It works in daily life. There is no dogma or belief system. You verify everything for yourself so you cannot be misled. In other words, it's fine to ask for readings. It's fine to ask for Tutah to channel something through, some advice coming from up above. But we have to also learn how to trust and surrender to our beliefs and our messages that we have internally.
Mhm.
We're the best. You know, we know. We don't think we know, but we know. We really know internally. We do.
Yeah,
We do.
and we're they were just showing me when you're saying that we are, our personal antenna.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are our own personal antennas, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, we've got, like, about,
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Let's look at some of
Yep.
the questions.
Okay. So hypnicity is working really, really diligently.
Okay,
She her third eye did open. She wondered how it's progressing.
okay.
Her forehead feels mushy. That's all right. At least it's not hard. Mushy's good. Um,
That's
mhm.
funny.
It's like what is it when we have children? The fontanelle up here. Remember it when they're
Oh,
born, the soft spot on their
the
head
soft spot.
eventually closes. But yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hypnicity, just meet me here in the middle. Just checking in with your third eye. I'm getting the feeling that, like that feeling of not solidness is, "Paono tiatuto katotomoku shiwa." They're kind of showing me when we watch those cartoons or movies or whatever that have the whirlpool, um, it's like, um, it's like a way to look into something, and so since it doesn't feel solid, it feels um, like the unearthing of treasures. It's like it's almost like gifting you this time, um, and you're ready for, really seeing what can emerge. Um,
Mhm.
so I really love that, for you.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I pulled a different deck and what do you hear what it says? It says, be open to the possibilities of receiving healing from that which cannot be seen.
Yeah. Oh my
It says
god.
you need to believe. Yeah, all of
Yeah.
us need to believe. So thank you for bringing this through, actually,
Yeah.
hypnicity, because it's for all of us. And it comes exactly with what we're discussing today. So, yeah,
Yeah.
spring forward, spring
Spring
forward.
forward.
Yeah.
I really love that idea of having something, an opening that feels I know mushy may not be the best, description of something emerging, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I really love the idea of if we sit, if anybody here does like a meditation or anything, if that's something that they can do. It's hard for me to sit still and do stuff like that, but um,
Mhm. Mhm.
asking what's ready to emerge, what is
That's right.
ready to
Mhm.
emerge, like,
Mhm.
and "Anu ta'ako ka mako," some will be emerging from the heart space area. I feel that very
Yep.
strongly.
Mhm.
Hypnicity's got the third eye going on. There is a little bit of when I'm feeling it in the voice area, um, that needs to, a little bit more time to open up. So if somebody's feeling like, that part is a little you'd love for it to be a little bit more open. Just be a little patient with that because I feel like the
Mhm.
timing isn't quite right for that.
I totally agree with you. And in fact, I was saying this the other day. We know that we have the heart chakra and we have the throat chakra, but in between, the very not discussed too often is the thymus chakra, which is a kind of a Amazonite color, like a greenish color, a
Yes.
light. And the connection between the heart and the voice has to go through that. So this is going to
Yeah.
be open. So I take my finger, no offense to the middle finger because it helps, but and just say, everything I need is coming or whatever. And I open to and you can just, tap on this area and it will
Mhm.
bring up the heart into the voice to be able to have you speak your truth and speak
Yeah.
what you know. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nice. The mushiness also reminds me of when my plants come up because it's rained or if you've had snow, it's wet and that is mushy and it allows the
Mhm.
plants to come up and come through.
Oh, and
So,
also mushiness with, like, the leaves. Um,
yes.
it's like a
Yes.
way to put the nutrition in and to help break
Yes.
down. Yeah.
Yep. Because if you see, for instance, if I was in the desert, the dark, the cracked desert ground, it's hard to see something, imagine something coming up through that
Oh,
because
no.
there's no moisture. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no moisture.
Yeah. No, there's some things that grow, like, on a rock cliff or in the desert.
Uh-huh.
So special.
Leah wonders when your A group mediumship questions, do you have to hold back often to do content?
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
If I'm in
Yeah.
a group mediumship, do you have to hold back often to do
Maybe what it means is that if you're in a group session,
Yeah.
and you're giving a message to somebody from somebody on the other side, it might be
Yeah.
very personal, and do you have to hold
Oh,
back and not
well,
maybe that's what it
yeah,
means.
I've
Yeah.
actually, I've
Mhm.
been on the other side of that where somebody was bringing something up, and I was just like, "I don't know if I really wanna can you talk to me?" But they picked it up. They're like, "Okay, we'll talk about this after." And I'm like, "Okay, good. I don't need
Uh-huh.
everybody to know this business."
Right,
You
right.
know?
And
Like
there are people that yeah, that they do that because,
Yeah,
it's very personal and, if
yeah,
somebody's saying, for instance, "You really need to stop drinking,"
yeah,
you don't need everybody in the chat to know that.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Exactly. And,
Yep.
there are some things too, like sometimes, being like a reader or almost like a translator,
Mhm.
sometimes we get things wrong.
True.
And
Yep.
that's just part of it. But the other part is that, sometimes you don't have to say everything that you experience and you feel. And,
Mhm.
um, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'll ask, I'm like, is that like an important thing to share? Because I really want to make sure I'm sharing the thing that is
With
the
love.
most
Yeah.
useful. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Understood.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for answering that one. So, Flower Beauty, if you want to give your mom, put your mom's and first names on, we can take a look at that. Sonia's saying, I'm feeling downloads. I feel like my forehead is so much pressure. Can you check this?
Okay.
She wonders.
Feeling like my forehead.
So you don't have the mushiness. You have like a sinus headachy pressure. It sounds like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've had that too. I've
Yeah,
had
me
that too.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Sonia, I just got the big yes on this. The big yes on this. Okay. Your forehead is so much pressure. Okay, so they're talking about like they're specifically like a tree and how a tree has roots. But some of those roots want to actually not go down. They want to, come through the surface. And
Uh-huh.
so that's what they're talking about right now, how it's like some of that pressure, they're describing it in that way, like something's trying to like um not necessarily break through. Let me just see what Tutah has to say about that,
Mhm.
Sonia. And
Yeah.
again, just try to energetically meet me here in the middle, almost as if we're like right in front of one another. Good. Okay. Manu tiamo. Yanu tiamo. Anu tiamo. Ko tiamo ko. Matuno, putting our hands on your forehead. Not touching it, but just right there. Yud ya kuna, kuna, kuna. Yanui, yanui. Gently speaking to it. Papau mau kanama ko kashamawa. And like a message for everyone is if there's like this point of pressure, and if it's something that's just see if you can like almost spread it out a little bit. Like in this instance, I'm thinking of like taking the pressure in the forehead and almost like the opening they want to go through is like the ears right now. So just kind of guiding that pressure away from like the third eye area, pushing it, guiding it over the eyebrows, seeing the light a little bit more. Kuya, 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 nama papapako katiama kushewa. And almost like funneling it down through the ears and out. Kuna, kuna, good. Ye tita, ye tita. Mako yama koyewa. And it would be okay too, Sonia, if you just went in that direction of like doing what Aley said, like the light tapping and whoosh. You have to do the noise though, because the noise is really fun.
Yeah, I hear the whoosh. Do you hear the whoosh? Do you hear the whoosh? Really?
Sometimes I do.
Okay,
yeah.
because that's when it opens. I hear like that.
Yeah.
It sounds almost like I was going to spit, but no, it was more a whoosh. But
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, somebody said here that they too are having this problem, and so we can't make our third eye open. We have to allow our third eye to open. We can't say, okay, today I'd like this to open up for me. It's not like it isn't like pushing a button necessarily, but it says, notice and accept what your feelings are when you're trying to access, when you're having this, sort of closure, and then proceed to clear them as a priority rather than indulge in emotionality. So you can get really angry that this won't open or it feels bad or whatever. But if you indulge it by saying, I release the need to have this open right this second, and just allow it to come in whenever it's ready to. Or you can even
and
yeah.
I always talk about these retreats that I go to. With Carissa Schumacher, and we always go to Sedona, and she was talking about how to open up. She had these exercises of opening up the third eye, and it was like putting your tongue like on the top of your mouth, like this.
Yep.
Like just going back and forth with the pleasure, the pleasure with your pleasure,
Right.
the pleasure of opening up the third eye, and it kind for me it tickles right now when I do that.
It
But
does.
she had us do that, but she also had us do some eye movements. Yeah, and I think the one you end on is like almost crossing your eyes and looking up. That was the other one, but before you do that one with the tongue thingy, you can just practice like moving your eyes up, moving your eyes to the side. It's kind of like just focusing on your eyes, and you do these eye movements. You can like cross your eyes, but the final big kahuna is crossing and then looking up with the tongue.
Absolutely. That's what Arthur said. He said that he roll your eyes as far back as you can.
Oh
yeah. And that makes a lot of sense to me. It's the pineal, it's the pineal gland, third. Yeah. There you go. Wow. So Fogo says that's why she's working on spiritual or PTSD fear. I know it's my third eye hasn't opened to be impatient. Yeah, we sometimes don't ask for what you're not ready to accept. And maybe you're not, and it isn't that maybe you aren't ready to accept it, Fogo, but maybe universal timing is always how we can see things. I would like to say that Rose says a recent message I received was to light a white candle the day of the solar eclipse. Celebrate yourselves for the great work and light you bring to the world. That is beautiful. Thank you, Rose.
I love it.
Yes, yes. Celebrate the fact that we're all pinpoints of light. Yes, beautiful. I'm going to put that in my ceremony for that day.
That's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So I have Ocean View. I don't know if you can. Her love Tommy passed away a few years ago, and I don't. Do you do the medium stuff as well?
I can try.
You can try.
Yeah,
Okay. There you go.
Always try.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, right off the bat, I'm getting about the connection of your feet, Ocean View, with the dirt, with dirt. Almost as if you imagine like you're barefoot right now, and just imagine that you're really like pushing into moving your feet around on the dirt. And I love that. Let me just see what else Tutah says. Like really grounding in the soles of your feet into dirt, not soil, but dirt. Dirt comes up with this path has been walked before by our loved ones. Following on a path, that is well trodden.
Wow.
A place of sacredness.
Beautiful.
It's a thing where things don't grow, but it's a place where you can go to get connected. And that's so special, because if you do think about the unseen and what's underneath the surface of something, if there's a lot of growth and it is soil, I kind of feel like if you think of your feet on the soil where like clover is growing or something, that has a different feeling of dirt, of packed dirt where there might have been a gathering. And I love both of them. I love the energy of feeling something that is alive and growing, and I love to feel like the imprints of our spirit and ancestors. I think place where people have walked before.
Sure.
That is a big message being shared today.
Wonderful. That's beautiful. So Tommy is saying self-care, how important self-care is. He wants to remind you how important it is. And it's important for all of us, but especially in these times, if we're not taking care of ourselves. And if you're walking along the beach, beautiful. Just he's watching you. He's watching you. He said, I don't miss any things down there at all, but I sure miss you. And he's saying it's an act of love. You are an act of love for him. Be yourself, but he wants you to take care of yourself as well. So how beautiful is that? So we don't have time to do everybody's questions, but I'm going to say Tanita is having a bad day. I also want to mention, Eliza says, I learned this many years ago. Any intentions set on a new moon eclipse will be harvested for the next 20 years. So make sure you're thinking things you want to come into your life, not what you don't want to come into your life on the 8th. Thanks, Eliza.
Yeah, Eliza shares. We have a really cool community. I love.
We really do.
Yeah,
we do.
It is a big, huge collective here.
Yep.
I mean, you think of co-ops like grocery stores and stuff. It's like, but yeah, we're a co-op here.
We are a co-op. Yeah.
Yeah. Rough days are not fun. Excuse me.
Poor thing. So many people. My daughter's going through the same thing.
Allergies too.
Okay, so Tanita, this is what I have for you. It's from David Hawkins' Letting Go cards. It says the basic rule of the psychic universe is that like attracts like. And we can do this to ourselves. We can have a bad day. We stubbed our toes, so we're just angry with whatever we stubbed our toe on or whatever. And then it just sort of goes. I've had the same rough day as you. I had a plant fall on me just as I walked by.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But it says here, love promotes love, so that the person who has let go of a lot of inner negativity is surrounded by loving thoughts, loving events, loving people, and loving pets. So there you go.
You know, what they're showing me is they were like they're like, lean into us, lean in, your people, your environmental helpers, I guess, like the unseen helpers. And I say environmental because I'm seeing like rose petals, and it's almost like the they're showing me it's a difference between like a color in between like red rose and like a fuchsia rose. There's like something in between those two. And it's like they're offering their the softness and the fragrance for you to come lay down with them, and they're like, it's okay. Like we might have thorns, but that's not going to you're not going to feel those right now. Just please come lay down. And I see it as just an offering to really lean into the rose energy. And they're like, don't forget the ground. The ground is nice and supportive too. It's just, they're just really creating this place for you to cry, even though if you don't know why you're crying, to scream if you don't know why you're screaming, you know, and it just, if you're exhausted, just a nice place to be comforted and rest is what they're saying.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful. Wow. I hope you have a much better day, dear.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up on this one because it's for the community. So Given Wings wonders if we have a message on our way out, because we're just at the top of the hour. So let's do that. All right.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I always talk up to my kids about is, and what's so great about this co-op that we have here, is that there are things, again, that are unseen affecting us, like the solar flares, or who knows what man-made shit's out there, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Just the unseen things that we might have like bombarding us. It's really nice to know that when other people are going through it too, because it makes us feel a little less crazy. You know, it feels like, okay. And that's why I really encourage people in the community to put up like, oh my God, well, have you felt the energy today? Or why am I stubbing my toe 7 times today?
Right.
So I think the message is coming from, because we were talking about the unseen on how to tap into your own personal song, you know, but it's not all like roses and honey all the time. And things are definitely out of our control here and there. So just really whatever it is that works for us, like whether it's having like a certain stone, a certain crystal, having some flowers, having a bath, like Epsom salt bath, to just really, if you need to put the blankets over your head, like they're just bringing in those things for us to just know that there are things going on, and they know it.
Absolutely. What is they saying? Be kind, because you don't know what someone's just gone through, you know. And that's because we can't see their pain. We can maybe see it in their face, but I got the kindness card. Everybody has the opportunity to contribute to the beauty and harmony of the world by showing kindness to all living things. That's that which we freely give back. It flows back to us because we are part of it, like ripples on the water. Every gift returns to the giver. So it doesn't take much to be kind. And don't forget to be kind to yourself.
You know, too, Aley, the kindness they're showing me start at home. Like, start at home, and it's not just with people.
Right.
It's almost like when you go like into a room, like just like be like, oh God, I'm so happy I have a roof over my head. You
I'm so
know,
grateful.
yeah,
Yes,
I'm so
absolutely.
happy that this structure is here.
Hmm.
I'm going to be
Hmm.
kind, you know, to this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
They really like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be kind to the unseen. This is the message for today. Be kind to things unseen, and that you haven't yet uncovered. It's like you never know when you're with angels unaware. So
Mhm.
be as kind as possible, and to
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. We had a wonderful day. Thank you, JJ, and to your group, Tutah. Thank you to
Mhm.
both people on both channels and moderators for us and questions for us. We will be back on 5/5 on a
Mhm.
Sunday, and JJ will host and I will simulcast, and we'll see you then. So
Yeah.
much love
See
to
you
you.
then. Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you.